evening, everybody, and welcome to Wallaby Racing. This is the Duck Skillzy Trade Talks, and I'm joined here by my fellow host, Matty Skills.
Hey, how are you, mate?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Keen to discuss some of these trades tonight, eh?
Oh, look, I think we'll start off with this is probably, and I've made it, probably the headline of tonight's stream, is that it's probably the most controversial topic of this season. Both mics, Ducks is quieter. Give me a sec.
Oh, what? I can't even edit mine. Maybe I just need to talk louder.
There we go. It should be right. Is mine a little bit louder now?
How's that, lads? Break.
Ouch,
What are you doing?
Matty. How's
Get
that?
out. Ouch, Matty.
My poor ears.
Oh, come on, lefty.
So is it too loud now or not? Like, seriously.
Is it alright now, lefty?
Ducks is alright. TV is going full volume. I do it again, trying to click the comms chat. Yeah.
It's okay. Lefty said it's okay. Alright.
Oh,
Pajala.
Majala with a resub for the 23 month. Thank you for the resub there, Paj. Alright, guys.
Paj, you're going to be a bit of a discussion tonight as well.
Yeah, look, we're going to back into it. Look, basically, to get off the bat, as I was mentioning before, is that this is probably the most controversial topic of Season 7 in Wallaby Racing. Would you agree, Matty, or...?
Absolutely. I had no idea the trade window would go this crazy this time, you know. Definitely the lack of rules did not help.
Yeah, definitely. And I've already put my hand up to that, saying, you know, that because trades is something that I really love, and I sort of take it by the horns and try to make it a little bit of a project of mine. I know I get a lot of help from Goffy, especially Magic Shot, you know, with the graphics, and also changing roles when roles need to be changed. But, you know, it was definitely an oversight on my part where there was a lack of rules set in stone. It was just a very vague set guideline type of things. But we'll go on to that a bit later on.
Yeah, I mean, having said that, I mean, I personally think, Duck, some of it is just common sense.
Yeah.
Like, I personally, like, being a former team principal of Wallaby, I would never, and no, guys, there's no offense here, but gloves are off, right? We love you all, so don't stress about that, much love, but I would never drop a driver that started in the league for a driver that's coming midway through the season, right? Because they've committed to our league.
Yeah.
So that's controversial in and of itself. You know?
No, look, I'm in the same ballpark as you. I think if you're going to trade someone out for a reserve, you know, you want to trade out at least for a reserve that has been there from the very get-go and has sort of paid their dues by opting to race every week as a reserve. You know, they're really putting their hand up. They're the ones, in my opinion, that are really committed, because they're the ones that may not get a race every week, but they're still sticking around, putting their hand up, saying, I'm here if you need me. And I think those are the type of people that they deserve a spot, definitely. But, you know, drivers that have just, you know, and I'll put what's his name? Nonstop. I'll put Nonstop up on the pedestal here, and I'll put Magic Shot up on the pedestal as well. Is that a driver who has just re-entered our own league, you know, from leaving the league, coming back in only a week before, or even I think it was during the trade period, and walking straight into a seat is not on. It in my opinion, it's an absolute bullshit. And you know, we've talked about it already, and this is, by the way, guys, we are going to mention this now. This is going to be the last time we talk about this. There's not going to be any more bullshit talk in all of your tier chats saying that I'm coming for you guys and so on and so forth, because it just starts to become a bit toxic, and it's not what we want. It's never been what we've wanted. This is all supposed to be in a little bit of fun. But, you know, getting rid of a driver that has proven track record that he's got a win under his belt, he's got a podium under his belt, he's sitting 7th in the in the driver's standings, to be dropped for somebody that just walks straight into our league, that we, even as owners right now, don't quite know if he is going to be tier 4 still, because we strongly believe he could be tier 3 potential. So, you know, that could have been a massive risk, and we did mention it at the top, you know, when before Magic Shot even went for the trade. We said that he could be a tier 3 potential, so, you know, this is a risk. But he opted to go for it anyway, so, yeah. But, Matty, have you got anything else that you want to add?
I think just where do we draw the line in terms of, I guess, like, you know, like, I mean, I've heard from Magic Shot and his defense, even though I wouldn't have dropped the guy, and we'll probably talk about it a bit more. His defense is, I thought his direct thing was, I thought in the trade period we were meant to improve our teams. That's all I've done, and I'm like, oh, that's actually a good point, but especially discussing the guy could be a tier 3, you know, so he's obviously faster, even though the other guy has. You know, he's finished 7th, he's got a podium, he's got a win, but Magic was just trying to improve his team.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I can see that as an argument. I can definitely see that as an argument. But at the same time, these are real
But find
people.
the guy a seat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Find the guy a seat. Like Pumpkinwin said, it's different from a trade or a drop, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. You know, and the thing is, like, as I was just about to say, is that these are real people. We need to understand that.
100%.
These are... These they're not tools in your bigger grand plan.
Well,
some of them are tools.
Just
Let's
kidding.
be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right, they're not tools. They're actually real people that's put aside time to race every week. You know, in our league, some of them have been year on year supporters of the league.
Yeah.
You know, they've turned up every week. They've said no to other leagues so they could race in our league. And then they get dropped like a piece of dirt.
Yeah. I mean, look, all's well that ends well anyway. You know, Pajala got a seat in the end. You know, it was definitely something that was deserved, in my opinion. I still think he deserved that seat, so he stays there. But anyways, we'll get on to the actual trades. Now, what I have done, I've gone through and I've written everything down. I haven't gone who's traded for who or who's traded to a reserve. I've just gone with the final driver in that team. So if they are incorrect, guys, I do apologize. Just correct me in chat. I'm sure one of us will jump out. But anyways, we're going to jump into tier 4. Over in the kick, it was one that was seen coming from the get-go. Pumpkinwin dropped for the original driver, which was Cub. You know, he broke his wrist or his arm or something. Yeah, wrist. Yeah,
Wanker's cramp.
That's right. He got Wanker's cramp. He dropped. Had to step down just due to injury. And I believe was always expecting to come back into the seat. I'm not too sure if Pumpkinwin was made aware of that from the get-go. But, I mean, Pumpkinwin definitely had there was definitely talks about this, I think 2 weeks before the actual trade period even started, hey?
Well, True Aussie Gamer's reaction was the Pouch Times don't know shit. That's what he said.
Yeah.
The Pouch Times called it really early, you know?
Yeah, very early. You know, it's something you can't hide, especially from these types of guys that are all over the news. You can't hide this shit from us, guys.
Yeah. Maxi Boy says, Cub was quick from the get-go, so it's kind of fair that the decision was made. Well, Maxi, you would say that being a Kicks album man, you know? Like, but there's a guy here with a broken heart in a fetal position, crying with a box of tissues every single night, having to be stroked by his mother to get to sleep because he doesn't have a seat. So, what do you think about that, Maxi? Hey? Because I think that's rubbish. Justice for Pumpkinwin. That's my cause. That's my charity.
Why isn't this? There it is. All right, so continuing on with Tier 4, we're going to move back over to the RB. So before I keep going actually with RB, so RB and Kick, these two teams right here, these, I'm going to call it now, are our villains
Mate,
of the
True
time
Aussie
period.
gamer is unhinged. He's
He
unhinged,
is.
mate. I don't know if he's taken a line of crack or what's going on, in his life. Like,
I-
did his cat die or something?
I don't know what he was thinking, but he was all out, wasn't he? He was brutal. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, mate.
We'll get on to Kick a little bit later on in True's Gamer. We'll go onto these two TPs a little bit. Actually, we've already discussed Magic. We'll just pretty much focus on this TP right here, True's Gamer for Kick, Sauber. We'll get onto them a bit later. But going into Tier 4, J-Swole taking over the RB. While we move on over to Alpine Racing, it is Arthur Seat. He managed to pick himself up a seat. He was doing well as a full-time, as a reserve driver, stepping in, most weeks. So again, this is going back to drivers that I think deserve a seat, and he, in my opinion, did deserve a seat. He's always putting in time. He's always putting in effort. He's talking in the chats. He's becoming a well-established member of the Wallaby community, in my opinion. So, yeah, I definitely think he deserves that seat.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Duck, for sure.
Yeah. Moving on over to the Aston Martin, it is Nutsy taking on that position now. I believe he was traded from RB, I believe, and made way for J-Swole. But he is now in that Aston Martin. We'll move over to Williams Racing, where Pajala finally ended up in a seat, managing to take that spot. We won't go into that. War Machine over in the Haas, dropping down from Tier 3. This is probably another bit of a controversial topic. I know that Tier 4 at the moment there's been a lot of talk about Tier 3 drivers stepping down into Tier 4 and walking directly into a seat. I stepped down from a seat that I was given in Tier 4 because, in my opinion, there were drivers from Tier 4 that deserved it more than what I did. I can't just waltz into a seat. I didn't find it fair. That's just me. I don't expect any other drivers to do the same thing, though. I definitely don't.
That's right. That's just quickly though, the techies redeemed a Skillzy's dad joke.
Oh, go for it.
So, hang on, let me just. You keep talking
You
for
weren't
30
ready for
seconds,
this.
and I'll think. I wasn't. Hey, like, I've got one. I just got to remember how it goes. Hang on a sec.
You do the knock.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. This guy. And he's. Oh, the Mad Dog's also redeemed one. Okay.
Let's not keep going with these.
Nah, let's not, because we got lots to talk about. I'll tell one for both of you. It'll be a good one. It's worth double, all right? So a guy and a girl, a married couple, went to counselling. They're having trouble with their marriage, and then when they go home one night, he went out and he stripped off all his clothes. He was naked and he was dancing in front of his tractor. His wife comes out and says, "What the bloody hell are you doing?" And he said, "The counsellor told me how to do something something to a tractor." That's what the counsellor said. How to do something to a tractor. That's a good one, eh? That's a good one.
That is a good one. I like that. So, yeah, that's a real good one, actually. I'm going to be... Send me that one later, please.
Alright.
So, getting on with it. War Machine, as I mentioned, into the Haas, stepping down from Tier 4. Losing his seat, actually, being traded down to reserve. Thrown the lifeline down to a Tier 3 position. Like I said, Tier 4, there's been a few rumblings about the Tier 3 drivers stepping down to Tier 4. You've got War Machine, you had myself, Nonstop, who wasn't Tier 3, but, is, in my opinion, a Tier 3 driver.
100%. He'll last 3 races.
Yeah,
sure.
I think so too. So, Tier 4 having a few rumblings about these sorts of drivers. However, I'm going to say this now. Tier 2, there have been, I think, 2 or 3 drivers that have moved down from Tier 1. Tier 2 hasn't said boo. So, Tier 4, if that's a bit of an awakening for you, get over it.
Yeah.
Move on. Just race. Those guys didn't even finish in the top 3 in the feature race of the Silverstone GP. So,
Yeah.
get over it. And then we're going to go back to the RB and the final seat that was taken for Tier 4, which was non-stop, as we've already mentioned, into the RB. So, Tier 4 driver lineups are looking absolutely insane, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just bringing it up here. Tier 4 driver lineup, where are you?
It's definitely the strongest Tier 4. It's definitely the strongest Tier 4 that we've ever had. I think in Wallaby, it's been quite a while.
I agree. And the thing is, as well, is it is very clean. It's very clean racing.
Yeah. I just sent you a DM as well.
You sent me a DM? Alright, give me 2
Yeah, mate,
seconds.
it's a dick pic.
Oh. Alright, let me open that right now. Sorry, guys, we're putting this on hold while I open this, because this is more important.
It's like a needle in a haystack. Needle in a haystack.
If you want to do that, you can. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right. So Tier 4, we're going to bring up the... I'm going to run the Tier 4 driver lineup. In the Haas, we've got Restless Orb driving alongside War Machine. In the Kick Saubers, it's Cub and the Almighty Gob. In the Willies, we've got Goffy and... Oh, I forgot to put Pajala there. My bad, I'll fix that later. It is Goffy and Pajala. In the Aston Martin, it is Combo and Nutsy, Jay Swole and Nonstop lining up together in the Red Bull, while over in the Haas we have Arthur Seat and Vsept. In the McLarens, it is VLT Vettel and Felty Rabbit. In the Ferrari, it's Batman alongside Cuds. In the Red Bull, not a single change for these guys here. It is Kirko and Chevy Wolves. And then rounding out the Mercedes team, it is Zachary and Felsi. So that is your Tier 4 lineup. Again, a very strong lineup. Clean. Mostly clean. I'm going to say probably one of the most cleanest tiers in Wallaby Racing. So I'm pretty stoked to see this keep going. Yeah.
It's an amazing lineup, eh?
It is. It really is. Anything else you want to bring up before we bring in a TP for just a quick squiz, quick interview?
I think that's it for me. I think I'm just excited to see these guys hit the field, and a lot of those Tier 3 guys that come down, I think they're going to level it out enough that there's still a bit of a battle at the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because we are starting to see a little bit of just a two-way battle at the top. I don't think it's definitely not going to change enough that these drivers are going to take the championship away from anyone. I don't think, anyway. Also, if you are going to bring in a TP for that interview, by the way, you're going to have to give him a comms role to join.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't talking. I just figured it out. It took me ages, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like 50 years old, eh? I feel like a Bajala, to be honest.
All right. Well, while we're waiting for that,
so we do have Mason Racing just joined us. Actually,
sweet. There we go.
Apologies about the delay.
No, all good.
That was definitely me, Mason.
Yeah, no, it was 100% Matty. It's not you. Look, thanks for joining us, man. Matty, I'll let you take this one away, my guy.
Yeah, so Mason, thanks so much for joining us, man. I guess the biggest question we just went through Tier 4 was what do you think about the Arthur pickup? Apart from that, you've been pretty quiet in the trade window, mate. Did you get everyone that you wanted, or how do you see the trade window going for you?
I think the biggest priority for us was grabbing Arthur at the right time. Other negotiations were started, but they fell through just because either the trade wasn't good enough or the time just elapsed once we did sign Arthur. But with Arthur qualifying first in Bahrain and just cleaning it up, unfortunately, it just came down to a third. It was the best of what the situation we had at the moment. So really it was, let's grab him now before someone else does. We definitely were speaking to other drivers, but it just, unfortunately, it just came down to simply, do I want to trade someone else? Do I want to sacrifice it now and then do with someone else? Or do I just want to take what I can grab now and let's evolve him into something good while he's in the team, and let's see how it goes from there. So I'd rather take the opportunity. He's put the time in, he's put the effort in, and he clearly has the ability to put it in on podiums, especially on first. and then adapt it into going from there. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think you've definitely strengthened your team, mate, and you've been pretty loyal to the rest of your drivers as well. Where do you sit on all the controversy, mate? On the controversy of, obviously drivers losing seats and being dropped and all that sort of stuff. Is it just fair play, or?
I think it's obviously hard because I know a lot of these guys. So
Oh yeah, that's why you're here, mate. Let's go.
Yeah. I think in many ways, to build a good team, you have to put trust in the team, and the team has to put trust in you. And in a few of the trades, I agree, it's a necessary cut, needs to happen. And in many ways, I can see a lot of the TPs where they were performing well as a team, the team didn't trust the TP and they abandoned ship. And you can see that where a few people got pillaged and a few people just abandoned ship before the ship sank. However, a few TPs, and I'm not going to name names, that's not my circus, not my clowns, but definitely
you can name their team if you like.
Nah, I'm good. I don't want to burn bridges.
Come on, mate.
No,
that's all right.
but I think I'll be questioning. For me, the biggest key takeaway for a team is if you can't trust your team, your team can't trust you, you're not going to have a good ride. And I think you've got a lot of drivers going into new teams, and a lot of guys who've been thrown out to the side. So I'll be questioning whether or not they'll have the ability to be comfortable in the team, especially with guys who've performed well and they've been thrown to the side. So I'll be seeing with keen interest and see how that goes.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Really good point, actually. That is a very good point. It's something I didn't really think too much on. Drivers being tossed to the side, then drivers replacing them, going into a team with that full trust is going to be something hard that you've got to build as a TP. So, very, very well said. Yeah,
fantastic, Mason. Thanks so much, mate. We definitely wish you all the best for the rest of the season. M-Bomb is dropping bombs, saying that you're going to be below Ferrari in Tier 3, mate, as well. So
that's the goal. It's hopefully top 3. That's the goal.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well done, mate. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck, man.
That's it. Like,
he raises some really valid points, eh?
Yeah, mate. He talks like the way he writes. A lot.
You do.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god. That guy. Have you seen his defense at the moment?
Mate, I thought I was a lawyer. He's a lawyer.
Oh
yeah.
God. 800-word essays just in just as a ticket defense or even just a report. The moment you see Mason Racing pop up, go and get your reading glasses, go and get a pillow and a coffee because you're going to be there a while just reading that. That's the next novel.
He's definitely someone you want in your team, writing your defences for you. Yeah. Like, far out, mate. The guy's a literature, major, you know?
But like I said,
makes Shakespeare look like a freaking idiot.
Yeah. But
Put Mason as a steward. I like that, M-Bomb.
Yeah. He definitely raises a valid point with that trust going into a team that has essentially wiped out almost their entire driver lineup.
Yeah.
And I'll put Kick into this scenario here. Kick. So the TP there, Truos Gamer, booted out 6 out of his 8 full-time drivers to make room for different drivers. Traded, yes, from other teams. Some dropped to reserve. Pumpkin Win, TMT Legend. Those guys there, just to name 2, just put to the wayside. If I was...
Mate, you're trading 6 out of 8 drivers? Mate, you got more problems than Red Bull and Christian Horner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like Adrian Newey. I'll be out of there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
If I was a driver that was out of the blue traded to this team, and I've seen that they've got rid of 6 of their drivers, I'd be looking the first ticket out of there. I'd be asking every team principal. I don't care how bad they're doing in the overall standings or even in that tiers standings. I'd be looking for the first ticket out of there. Please get me into your team. I don't care who I need to trade. Even if I have to go down to reserve, then so be it. I don't trust that TP. You know, it's
Whoa,
one of the,
Duck Puncher dropping bombs, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But true Aussie gamer, more like sly Aussie gamer. Oh,
Alright,
that's a
so
dad joke.
we'll move on to tier 3. So a couple of the trades from tier 3. Ambom into Ambom over into the Ferrari. While we've got Sam Fowler into the Kick Sauber, followed by his other teammate Quiet Cake. So 2 drivers stepping into the league and going straight into a Kick Sauber there. So there's 2 drivers from tier 3 gone, and then 2 drivers straight in. We'll move over to Maxi Boy. It is in the RB alongside Cruz. So another 2 drivers from one team just axed to make way for another driver. Now this was a very late trade too. This was probably the most back and forth between TPs that we've seen. This was between Wogjet and Magic Shot. You know, the trade was initially who was it? Oxchillo for Farmer Sam from tier 1. Magic Shot then came back with the counter offer saying, I want Abyss and Maxi Boy, and you can have Oxchillo and somebody else. And it ended up just going from there, and then until finally a decision was made.
Yeah, it was a bit of a goat trade, wasn't it?
It was probably I think the most entertaining trade that we've seen. You know, that's just from our side of things. I don't know, a lot of people can't see this sort of stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Maney just laid down and took it, you know, like a cheap stripper, you know.
Look, Maney, we'll get on to Maney shortly because he is a point that I want to discuss when it comes to, you know, these trades and, you know, people not in the way I see it, just not being treated like a person, sort of to being taken advantage of, or, you know, their niceness and their demeanor just being taken fully advantage of. I did see a few things that I did not agree with, and I even stepped in and I was just like, dude, you need to learn how to say no. Like, stop being so nice, because you've just got rid of an insane tier 1 team that you had. And yes, I heard that there were reasons for it, but, you know,
if Maney was a female, mate, he'd have 10 kids with 10 different fathers.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yep. Well, going on to the last trade for tier 3, it is Mad Dog over to the Haas. That was the second one. So it was Oxchillo and Mad Dog from RB over to the Monogram Haas F1 team. And then it was Abyss and Maxi Boy moving over to the Visa RB Cash App team.
Yep. Can we just pause for 1 second?
Yeah.
And just talk about Mad Dog for a second, right? Right, the guy comes in halfway through the season from a ban.
2 weeks ago.
Like, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago into the season, fresh from a ban, gets picked up, right?
Yeah.
Gets put in a seat full time for someone that gets dropped, races shirtless. I mean, seriously, I have to watch the replays. I mean, the guy can't put in a ticket shirtless. I want to put in a petition. Seriously, you know, with his albino chest thing going on there, you know, and his little nipples. I don't know. I don't know if you've seen it, Doug. It's arousing and also scary.
I've seen it. I have seen it. He is in the chat. He says that it's the nips need to be free. Racing shirtless with hairy nipples as well. Not on Mad Dog. Extra aero, Mad Dog says. So look, there you go. So there's some reasons why he races shirtless. Yeah.
He races it over a HUD. He puts it over his bloody. Can't even see what's going on, mate.
Yeah,
that's why he crashes so much. You know, he drives worse than my grandma with no arms. And she has no arms. I mean, seriously.
But yeah, I mean, look, that to me is a prime example. that is exactly a prime example that we've been talking about. You know, drivers that have just waltzed back into a league and have walked straight into a seat over people that have genuinely put in the time, the effort, the commitment into racing for that team principle. It's only been flicked to the side, said, "See you later, thanks for everything." Who's just joined?
Lefty's joined.
Oh, right. Yeah, just to be, thrown into a seat. Oh, sorry, thrown away from the seat, and basically told, "Thanks for everything. See you later." So,
yeah, exactly. I'm convinced Mad Dog's removed his 2 bottom ribs and gives himself blowies. I'm convinced.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Left 4 Dead's joined the interviews so that we can talk to another team principal that is, I think, made some very solid trades this season. I think he only made 2, 3. Give me a sec. Two out of his eight drivers, and one of them, if you wanted to count the third, which I won't count it because I don't think anyone should count this. A driver of his from Tier 2, Kano, sadly had to step down because he's just too busy with work, and fully understandable. We hope to see him back soon. Even as a reserve, love to see him back. He is a good bloke. He's actually a really good bloke. But he's picked.
We
up
know the same Kano, right?
Yeah, we're talking
No,
about.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I love the guy.
And Zerving's just picked up that seat for the Mercedes, but 2 other drivers that have gone into the seat. You've got Oscar Liu, and I believe who was the other one? Who was your other one?
PCHR. Campbell.
PCHR, that's the one. Campbell. Yes. So both your Tier 1 drivers. Wait, I didn't put him in there for some reason. Cool. Well, Matty, what questions have you got for Left 4 Dead?
Oh, Lefty, I think just congratulations on the season so far as well, mate.
Dominant.
Quickly becoming a Wallaby Team Principal Hall of Famer. But yeah, just replacing the Tier 1 lineup, mate. And what do you make of the other trades, the other controversial trades, mate? Do you think there needs to be an overhaul of the rules?
Regarding the other trades, I think to a certain extent, game is game. But some of them questionable. Obviously, there's a backstory behind everything. But I think at the end of the day, good trades were made by the teams that did go a little bit extreme. And then, my trades, I think, with obviously none in Tier 3 and Tier 4, I think Tier 2 I got unlucky, but also really lucky at the same time with the timing. And then obviously Tier 1 we might talk about later. But other than that, I think, some things were a little bit controversial. Some things got a little bit out of hand. But other than that, I think it was fine. And I think the rules overhaul, I think stricter guidelines do need to be in place so TPs know where the line is. But yeah.
Yeah, and obviously 500 points in front would be hard to catch you, but despite what everyone is saying, I think Magic Shot and RB in itself has made their team a lot stronger, and that's the point of the trade window. So definitely props off to him for that. Are you worried about them catching you at all?
Not necessarily, but anything can happen. I mean, drivers can drop out at any time. Anything can happen within their personal lives, so I think it's just remaining cool, calm and collected and just having fun at the same time. I think that's the key thing.
Yeah. And I guess the final question left is how are you recovering?
Me recovering from...
Yeah, just from the broken heart of not seeing Skillzy on the grid this year.
Oh, I'm gutted, mate. I've really struggled this season mentally, and just couldn't keep it in the game at the beginning of the season. Yeah,
you're only human, mate. You're only human. But thanks for joining us, mate. Awesome insights, and like I said, mate, quickly becoming a Wallaby Team Principal Hall of Famer, mate. We really love your support for the league, all you do for it, and I know how much time and effort you put into your drivers, and it's certainly not You're not on top because of luck, and you're not on top because you got the best drivers. You're on top because you put the hard work in, and you're exactly what the team principal should be doing. So amazing work, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah. Well, guys, we'll move on over to Tier 2. In Tier 2, only 3 trades were made. Actually, 4, including PCHR. So we'll look at that one a bit later on. But in Tier 2, it's JTM going over to the Ferrari in replacement of War Machine. Zerving's going into the Mercedes in lieu of Kano stepping down just due to reasons that can't be helped. Work, just a lot of work going on, just couldn't get the time. Oz Curtis stepping back into the Kick Sauber, and then we've got PCHR stepping over into the Mercedes from the McLaren. Now, one that I'm going to talk about is, again, we're going to go back to the Kick. We're going to talk about Oz Curtis.
Yeah. Mate, I've got some insight for Oz Curtis for you.
Have you?
Yeah, do you want to hear it? Are we going to blow the lid off on it?
Fire away.
No, it's not huge, but I'm his team principal in Rapid.
Yep.
And I haven't heard from the guy in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Not a message, not a check-in,
Yep.
nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's dead. I don't know if he's being raped. I don't know what's going on. If anyone can find him,
It's exactly what I was going to say. I think this is probably the riskiest move from any TP. And Truo's Gamer knows what Oz Curtis is like. He is so unreliable when it comes to a driver. He will not check in, as you said. He won't reply to text messages, as you've said, or DMs. He won't talk in the team chat, like you've said. In my opinion, it's the riskiest. He's been in. Oh, there you go. Can assure you he's been in contact with True Oz Gamer. Let's see how often he appears, or for how long.
And I love Oz Curtis, by the
He's
way.
a great guy.
Great guy.
Absolutely.
Great guy.
Great driver. And
I hit the jackpot when I got him.
In my opinion, like if the unreliable from previous seasons didn't come into the fact, he would be a very, very strong pickup, in my opinion. He is a fantastic driver. He is super clean. He is very respectful. He's got really, really good race etiquette, and I've raced alongside him quite a few times, even in just Easy Reapers 5-lappers. But, like even Magic Shots just said it in chat then, I call 3 races and then he'll be not appearing again. And that's sort of the name he's given himself now. He's quickly become that driver that is just unreliable. And I will say it, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it is the riskiest trade move I have seen done in this league.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Do we have any TPs coming in for Tier 2? Chat.
I don't believe so.
That's
no.
right.
The goat. Is Mania not ready? What's going on? Nah, Mania hasn't said anything. Mason, nah. No, we don't have anyone coming in. But after Tier 1 left, he's got some bombshells to drop. He said.
Ooh.
So, yeah. I don't know what that means. He's like, can I jump in after Tier 1? I got some bombs. I don't know what that means. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Better be good.
Yeah.
Dante's in the chat. Dante,
Dante.
legend. Dante, mate, he's a legend, hey. Absolute legend. He races for that shit league. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it. You know that shit league? It came out of someone's butthole and it just ended up on Discord somehow. And then just started racing and they got all these AI people to watch their stream to make it look good. I don't know. Have you heard about this league?
Even Dante is saying let's not talk about that.
Alright, fine. I'm sorry, Dante. I'm sorry. Too much. Too far. So, no, he's there now. He's
We'll quickly
he's in
dodge
there.
this topic and we'll get
He's
on
in the
to Tier
butthole.
1. We'll get on.
Yes, let's talk about Wallaby.
Let's talk about Wallaby. That's right. So Tier 1 over in the Haas, we have big man Ryan Oxchillo moving over into the Haas seat here for the MoneyGram. Into the RB, I think I've got this wrong. I think I've got Campbell. I've got in the RB, but I think that should actually be Tier 2. I think it's PCTR. Oh, I can't remember what league, what tier he's in anymore. But Campbell, I think that's the wrong team. We've got Oscar Liu in the Mercedes, so down this way, over in the Mercedes here, Oscar Liu. MJ Roller in the Aramco Aston Martin team. Abyss moving over to RB, finally getting out of that MoneyGram Harsef, that team. He wasn't happy, hated the car, and wasn't really too ecstatic with only being left with one, appeal point left. So he is now out of there, and then you've got Farmer Sam, who has moved over to the McLaren team. So those are your changes for Tier 1. Anything standing out to you there, Matty?
I really like Oscar in Mercedes. I think he's going to go really well. I think he's one of the fastest guys on the grid, to be honest. And then obviously the Abyss and Oxchillo controversy as well that happened there. But no, I think it's a pretty good lineup by the whole team, really.
I think with the Abyss and Oxchillo one, they both sort of ended up where they wanted. The only thing I will say is that Oxchillo really wanted to be in a team with Maxi Boy, and it just didn't happen.
That's so funny.
It was funny. He got traded to the team that Maxi Boy was in. Maxi got traded to the team that Oxchillo was in. It just didn't come to fruition for either of them. It didn't. I think I said this in Owner's chat. It doesn't make sense to me why it is so important to be into a team with someone that's not even in your tier. You can still still chat with them and still help them out. Like, I don't see any issue with that. But it just, that one sort of just blew my mind a little bit. Like, why is it so important? Like, what's happening there? It sort of raises my eyebrows a little bit. So
yeah.
But apart from that, I think Tier 1 was some really strong changes. I think some really smart changes. I don't think there was anything that was too, left-handed-ish. Let's look into it a little bit more, or had ulterior motives.
Magic Shot dropping a bomb saying RB have the strongest Tier 1 team. That's a big call.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Big call. And Lefty's here. Lefty, welcome back, my friend.
How's it going?
Good, mate. What's the bombshell you got for us? Tell us.
Oh, I was just saying, Magic making a big call there, saying he's got the best Tier 1 lineup when he obviously doesn't.
Obviously doesn't.
Me and Campbell have done a lot of work together over the last week, and we're definitely going to kill them all.
1-2? Is it going to be 1-2 every week?
I don't know. It might be, but no, on a serious note, I just want to touch on the Oscar thing, because a lot of people didn't understand it at first, from my understanding.
Wait, so before you get into that, where is Oscar?
Kick.
Right. I've got all that wrong.
Yeah, Oscar's a kick.
Yeah, thank you.
So
I got that wrong.
No,
Sorry.
that was me.
my reasoning behind it wasn't the fact that he's not a good driver and that he can't win or score podiums or, be a good teammate, because he certainly was whilst he was within the team. It was purely because of it was a few different factors, but one of the main ones was just not being active in the team chat, which is a huge thing. Another thing was just sometimes.
Do you mind if I just jump in there for a second?
Yeah.
With that not being active in Team Kick, you'll actually see when we do drop our new rules for the trade period next season, that is actually going to be playing into a point into one of those the rules is that a driver can be dropped if they are not active in your team chats. If they're not putting in any effort into towards your team, then there is going to be permission to drop them to a reserve or to trade them out. So that is a big thing.
Yep. I do think that's a good thing to have implemented into the league. But the other thing is, I know he's worked with Jarrell's Gamer before. I think it was last season. And with the cards that were on the table with PCHR or Campbell, whatever you want to call him, it just seemed right because I think he would have been a lot happier, and that's what I kind of tried to explain or say to him in the message that I sent him. I just think he would have been a lot happier, and so far I think he has been. I could be wrong, but I think it was a win-win for pretty much everyone. I think, Kick won. Magic obviously did really well with his lineup, and I think we did really, really well with our lineup. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that, just in case anyone was still confused on why I did it, or if he was still confused on why I did it. It wasn't because of poor performance or we didn't get along or anything. It was just purely because I think there were better options on the table.
And I can respect that, honestly. I think you've made that trade for the right reasons. You've done it all for, to make that driver a little bit happier. So I think it's all done for the right reasons. There's nothing malice in it. That wasn't about you're performing shit or anything like that. The fact that you've traded out a driver that is actually genuinely performing for you, but you wanted to see him in a happier situation. So I could fully respect that.
And on the other hand as well, me and Campbell get along really well. We talk a lot. We used to help each other a little bit before the races and stuff. So it just seemed right for all the right reasons. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say.
No, well, look, thanks, man. Thanks for clearing that up. It's definitely had some insight into even just why some trades are actually made. So appreciate the insight there, man.
All good.
Yeah, thanks, Lefty. Legend, mate.
Cheers.
All right, so we're going to get into just a couple of nitty-gritty little things. So trade talks, we're talking about all the teams. They've made all these trades. They've, some we agree with, some we don't agree with. But
Justice for Pumpkinwind.
Yep, there you go. See, still always coming in, the whole Justice for Pumpkinwind.
Yeah.
But, we're going to talk about trades made by the teams, so the actual teams themselves. So Kick Sauber with 6 out of 8 drivers traded. Huge.
6. That's a whole team.
It is essentially
That's
your whole
it's
team.
actually 6 out of 7. Because True Aussie Game is a driver.
No,
So
Troy
6
Kane's
out
not
of-
a driver.
Oh, no, he's not, is he?
No. It's just
No, he's a piece of crap. Right, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
TP and piece of crap. Sly Aussie Gamer. Just kidding, True. To love you, mate. When you watch this back, just know that I love you, and I think you're a piece of crap. But also know that I love you. But also you're a piece of crap.
Friends, thank you for the follow, man. I appreciate the follow there for our Wallaby Racing League. If you want to become a part of the actual league itself, feel free to just make a comment in the chat there. We'll get somebody to chuck you up a link to the Discord, and we'll get you in. Sorry, keep
Done.
going, Matty.
Yeah. So I think I think it's massive. I think in terms of what who was it? Yeah, it's not working, does it?
No.
What Lefty? No. What's his face? Mason Racing said. Just about team culture and whether you think you're safe. There's obviously not another trade window, but it's just a massive dynamic shift for the team. It's a massive shift for the 2 guys that are left there. They've made bonds and friends, and some of them probably sleep together by now. So, they've lost some lovers as well. So, yeah, big changes in the Kick garage. But Kick be kicking.
Yeah. No,
Kick
fully
has
agree.
been kicking.
I think I know who this guy is. This France guy, I think, is actually the creator of the current attendance bot
Is it?
that we use. Yeah, I think that's
Cool, dude.
So that's really cool to have in the
Nice.
chat. So if that is you, friends, big shout out to you for coming to clutch when the old attendance dropped down and stopped working. A lot of the leagues were left scrambling to try and figure out what to do. And we're using crap, essentially. And now we're using this one that is, in my opinion, probably one of the best ones out there. The fact that we can put pictures up and so on and so forth. I love it. So we'll get on over to RB, who have one less trade than what Kick Sauber has. 5 out of their 8 drivers have been cut to the side. Keeping in mind that Magic Shot is one of those drivers who obviously wasn't traded. He's not going to trade himself. He's the TP. So let's call it 5 out of 7. So essentially the same ratio as what Kick Sauber have. Huge, again, in itself. Probably the most talked about trade at the very end of the trade period there was that Pajala trade. I can understand where he's coming from in his point of view about, I thought we wanted to better our teams. Fair enough, but I'm seeing a driver that is performing. And then to hear the reason, he was at risk of a quali ban. The guy doesn't have any strikes against his name.
0 strikes.
0 strikes. So when I heard that, when I saw that message, I was like, oh, dude, this is a cop-out. Like, you're avoiding the actual situation here, and you're just trying to get out of it by coming up with this reason that sounds okay, but it was, I in my opinion, I think it was a cop-out in that scenario. But again, I do see where he is coming from. From his point of view, there is 2 sides to every story. Everyone knows that. And him saying that I thought this was to better our teams. Fair enough. Definitely 100% point of a trade.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's all the stuff that you don't see, right? It's the culture stuff, right? Magic Shot has got a lot of work to do just to get his name back, to be a good, and to be honest, if it's cut and dry, and we've got to remember as well, some of these guys are quite young, and so from his point of view, I think he just wants to improve his team, and so he's doing the best he can do to improve his team, and he's trying to chase down a mammoth Mercedes for the win, for the constructors as well, so that's really difficult to do as well. Yeah. And so for him, he's just trying to improve his team because he wants to win the constructors, right? And I'm sure he wants to stay the TP as well. So there's mountains of pressure on Magic Shot to try and, improve his team and build a better team and all that sort of stuff. And then, he does the trades, and obviously a couple of them just dropping people. There's a little bit of nuance around just understanding how it's going to affect your culture, how it's going to affect your image, how it's going to affect what people think about inside the team. I'm sure there's some uneasy people there as well. But also, if you're going to, I think personally, if you're going to put your big boy pants on and do it, put your big boy pants on and tell everyone to shut the fuck up, as well. Yeah. But it's not because I personally don't think it's because Pajala had an impeding quality ban. I think it's because he thinks Non-Stop's a better racer, and good luck, that's the reason, but stand on that and say that. And that's fine as well, I think.
So there is a comment made by Pajala. If I can just make a point as to
absolutely
involved. If I had got another team, I was okay with it. But to be left out in the cold with no chance of getting a drive was my main issues, and being told after the trade window was closed really disappointing. That's all he can say. Yeah, look, and I definitely...
That's fair.
Again, I can see that. I can 100% see that. It sucks to be, left out high and dry. It's happened to me. When I raced, where was it? I raced in OCE a fair few seasons ago. I didn't even make the trade, and there were drivers that were so much they didn't deserve a seat. That was the way I viewed it at the time. If I'm looking back at it now, I see it completely differently. But I didn't even get picked. Easy Reaper got picked, Henchman got picked, and seeing all these guys get picked, my closest friends, and then I get absolutely shafted. I was so upset. But look, I'll go back onto the Magic Shot side of things. I'm going to go into his defense a little bit. He did contact every single TP trying to find a spot for Pajala. He definitely did that. He also made a comment saying, guys, if you are looking, please DM me. He contacted them. he did everything in his power. It just came right down to that clutch moment where it was the window was about to close, and he had to make a decision, and he just went, you know what, fuck it, bam, and made that decision. You know, was it the right call? Was it the wrong call? That's not for us to judge. That's something for Magic Shot to think about later on down the track and think, did I make the right decision? That's something for, you know, Pajala to go home, sit down for a couple of days, weeks, months, however long it takes the old man to sit there and go, you know what, it's nothing, it's a game, I'll just let it be, and then move on from there. Rapajala, mate, you gave the 2 Ps 2 hours, not enough time, and they would need to drop a driver. How does that make them look? Well, yeah, again, so, but there are ways that can be worked out to Pajala. Is that somebody that picked up a driver from, say, Tier 3, War Machine, or Duck Puncher, they could have been traded for you, and then myself or War Machine could have been dropped down to a reserve. But we're gonna move on from that. It's beside the point.
Yeah,
we've had our chat on
happened.
that. It's happened. It's in the past. You've got yourself a seat. Be happy. Magic Shot's got himself a driver. He's happy. Everyone's happy. Happy, joy. Let's get over it and move on. All right. We now move on to Haas. So Haas now with the 3 changes that they made. So 2 of them coming, actually all 3 of them, I think, coming right at the end of the trade period there. So Oxchillo, the other one, and the other one. Who were they?
It was
Chillo, Big Man Rye, and Mad Dog.
Mad Doggy Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those 3 trades, all pretty decent trades, I would say. You know, I think if it could really play out into Wogjet's favour, I think keeping Abyss alongside with Oxchillo would have been the absolute ideal partnering for those 2. I could have really seen some very strong points coming in for Monogram, but it didn't happen. It didn't come to fruition. At the same time, the team principal Wogjet also listened to his driver, who didn't want to be in the Haas. He didn't like the Haas, and gave him a seat that he genuinely wanted to be in. So I think it is a very good decision.
Yeah, I think so too. Absolutely, mate. Yeah.
We've already spoken about the Mercedes. We've got Leo, who was traded to Kick, and PCHR traded over to Mercedes. And then you've got Zervings that was picked up in lieu of Kano stepping down, as well as... I can't remember the other one. Zervings, PCHR...
That's it,
yeah,
isn't it?
That's it. That is it. Yeah.
That's it.
So it's actually one trade that he made. I'm fairly certain. Yeah.
Oscar and Zervings. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and good trades. Again, he's done it all for the right reasons, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, 100%. I think so. They're solid trades. I think he's got a really good Tier 1 driver, and he came on and obviously explained himself as to why he did that. And then obviously he can't really help Kano. You know, he's working, and I think it's solid by the Mercedes.
Yeah.
Hats off to you.
So we'll move on over to the Ferrari TP, also making 2 changes. So in the Ferrari here, War Machine being dropped to a reserve in lieu of, I think it was JTM. No, JTM's Tier 2, isn't he?
Yeah, JTM. So M-Bomb. It would be M-Bomb.
Sorry, yeah, M-Bomb.
Oh,
M-Bomb
great pickup.
Yeah.
Great pickup.
I think so
Ferrari.
too.
Great.
M-Bomb,
Yeah.
been around for a little while. In a lot of the leagues, and when I say a lot of the leagues, I'm specifically talking about our partner leagues, Rapid and OCE. So he's been around for a while. So he's paid his dues in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I think he has. Definitely deserves to walk into a spot. Yeah, so that's that change there. We also move on to JTM, who's gone over to the Ferrari in Tier 2, as Storm Hutto had to step down, and has now focusing on just Rapid, I believe, or OCE, one of the two, or even both. Moving on again over to Aston Martin, 2 trades again from them, which was MJ Roller and who was the other one? Nutsy. So 2 decent trades from them. Alpine just making the 1 trade. Willys making the 1 trade. And Red Bull making 0 trades.
0 trades from the Kirko, mate.
Yeah. Look,
That is huge.
He made a point in chat. Let me see if I can find this.
What does everyone think about that?
About him not making any trades?
Yeah. I'd love to see his comment in there as well. You know.
He's struggling. Like, don't get me wrong, the team is definitely struggling. You can see it from what is it called? Left 4 Dead. Like he keeps mentioning my poor Red Bulls. You know, but he's happy. Where is it? No, I can't find it. It's in there somewhere though. But essentially, he's just saying that, you know, everyone's in you know, high. Everyone has high energy. Everyone's quite happy. Everyone's you know, they're all putting in their best effort. Why get rid of anyone that's there just to have fun? It's a game at the end of the day. So, here he goes. He goes, no, bro, because I said, did you make any trades? He said, no, bro, everyone in the team is happy. We all get along and we all enjoy the game thus far. We have worked well as a unit, setups with engineering. We aren't doing the best, but it is what it is. Why trade someone that's happy? Seeing some of these trades... now that I've started saying it, it says, seeing some of these trades where the drivers are just doing well and then goes to reserves is mega shit. So that's his comment about why he's made no changes.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And Pajala just said he learned from Skillzy you never dropped a driver in the trade period, which is true as well.
It is true.
Yep.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
So look, that's pretty much all of the talk from the trade window. Should I talk about some of the future rules that we are looking to implement?
Oh, go on, mate. Why not?
Yeah? Alright, give me a sec, let me bring them up. Where are they? Here we go. So, rule 1, so these are some of the, I'll talk about them all. Obviously, these are not set in stone. We are going to be talking about these. So we are going to be limiting teams to a number of trades, and that will be 4 trades. You know, whether that be 2 from tier 1, 2 from tier 2, that's all 4. You're leaving tier 3 and 4 unchanged. 1 from each tier. However you want to do it, that's going to be up to you guys. Obviously, that's not set in stone. That could change. We could up it. We could lower it. I don't think we'll lower it. 4 to me at the moment is probably right on the money. Yep. So there will be a trade cap. Drivers must be notified and reply to that, you know, to that notification that a trade is being made. In the ticket as well, the owners must see evidence provided in that trade ticket. So we need to see evidence that you have contacted that driver saying that, hey, I'm going to be trading you for this person. And we also need to see a reply from that driver saying, yep, no worries. If they're just traded without any reply, we will cancel that trade just like that. It will not happen. No cross-trading. No cross-tier trading, I should say. It just became way too... Rule 3, training skills you were set in the life end. Yeah, no cross-tier trading. It just became so convoluted. It's just not really necessary. I, for one, I think looking at some of them, I was like, how the hell is this working? And it just, like I said, it just got a bit too convoluted, and that sort of stuff just needs to stop.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just too dodgy. You know what I mean? Like, and like you said, these are people, not tools.
Yeah. Getting on to that point, there will be no trades for a driver you're intending to drop to a reserve straight away. So that is where you pick up a driver from another team, you bring them over to your team, you're dropping them to reserve, purely to make room for another driver to come into your team. That's not on. And that's exactly what we're talking about with drivers being used as tools, essentially. So, yeah. There you go. Yeah, see, Manny, that cross-tier trade ruined him. And it did. It absolutely did. Where am I? No trades. Yep. Rule 5, we're looking at team-to-team trade or team-to-reserve trades only. No more of this three-way team bullshit. You know, where Mercedes are going to bring in this driver and give that driver to that team, and that team's going to give that driver to that team. It's none of that. It's just team to team. That's all it is.
Yeah.
The way a trade should be. So, you know, again, it was just getting out of hand, a little bit too convoluted. All trade discussions are to happen in the ticket from now on. Any under the table deals made in DMs that we find out about, those trades will be immediately cancelled. So that means team principals, if you are going to start talking about who you're going to trade in a DM with another TP 2 weeks in advance, saying, hey, I'm going to give you this person if you give me this person, so on and so forth, and you both agree with it 2 weeks prior, 3 weeks prior, 1 week prior, even a day prior, we will cancel that trade if we find out. It's not going to happen. Yeah, see, almost a 4-way trade. No.
Oh.
No way. Team principals may trade a driver for a reserve with approval from the owners. Team principals must show evidence of either not turning up to races or not contributing in team chat. Either bad behaviour or not contributing anything to the team at all.
Yeah.
Once a trade has been made, it is final. That driver cannot be traded again. So that stops that formula fish being just uprooted from team to team to team. We're going to be stopping that. So, like I said, there are going to be a lot stricter rules on the trades.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I think it's good.
You reckon?
Yeah, for sure. I think it just makes it a bit more fair, you know, across the board, and I think it tilts it back in the driver's favour, where it's been in the TP's favour for a couple of seasons now.
Yeah, exactly. We sort of lost that control as owners. We lost control in the trade periods, especially this season. Last season, we seemed to just keep it in, if not right on the borderline of, you know, is this okay? Last season, I think, was actually worked out quite well, but it was still on that borderline. This season just crossed the line a bit too much. Pajala says, what about drivers dropping a division? Will they be required to start as a reserve? Surely not. Sure, if you mentioned this watching the Brownlow. You shouldn't be watching the Brownlow because it's a shit sport, first off.
Yeah, preach.
But, look, that's a hard one, because there are drivers that we may have placed in the tier incorrectly, and they should have deserved, like, they by rights should have been in tier 4, you know, and we've put them down to that tier to be picked up. You know, they deserve a seat. They've committed just as many hours as those tier 4 drivers as the tier 3 drivers.
Yeah.
Just because they've been moved down by us as the owner doesn't mean that they don't deserve a seat. So
that's right.
I'm going to say no. And
yeah, good call.
I think tier 4 drivers, take a note out of tier 2. They haven't whinged or bitched or whined when those drivers from tier 1 stepped down to tier 2. They got on with it, and they've made it happen. You know, they're driving. And look exactly how it went last night. Those 2 drivers that are, well, one driver down from tier 3 and non-stop didn't even end up on the podium in their feature race. So it is what it is. Yeah, look, I think that's pretty much it. One very quick thing I want to say is huge congratulations to Break and Mushy Peas on their debuts last night for Wallaby Racing League comms. They killed
And
it.
I've got some. Yeah, they absolutely smashed it. They smashed it. I think Break's gonna do some big things in comms as well. So yeah,
I
yeah.
think so too.
Hey, can I have a little plug,
Yeah.
Duck? Can I do one little plug?
Yeah.
So I just found out, just got a DM that on the 12th of
No.
November I'll be doing the OFI with George Morgan.
Morgan.
You. So that'd be sick. Can't wait.
Wait, with who?
With George Morgan. Who?
You got the George Morgan part?
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
I'm so happy
Yeah.
for you.
So I'm pretty stoked. Pretty stoked with that. And yeah, George said he's happy to jump in and do some training with me as well.
Oh,
so
dude.
yeah, pumped. Yeah, pretty excited.
Xanden's going to get his DM as well soon, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I don't know if I had to keep that on the down low or not. I think Xanden's going to get a stream, so it's going to be amazing. So
Yeah, dude,
Xanden's a freaking Xanden's a bloody goat.
Yeah, he's very good. So you're getting a PC then?
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, dude, I'm so happy for you. That's so good.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that on stream yet. I don't know.
Well. Comms rolls, bro. I'm going to do some comms here soon. You had comms rolls at one stage.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I
that's
can
right.
put him back. Yeah, for sure.
Just put him back in.
Keep it on down low, Xanden. Shit. I don't know if I was meant to say it. Oh well. It's all
well,
good.
it is what it is. You're excited. Keep it up. But guys, that's it from us. To all the TPs, guys, keep up the work that you are doing, putting into your teams. You are all doing an amazing job. Despite everything we've talked about tonight, you are all doing an amazing job. Just let's look at our teams like people and move on.
Yeah.
Let's not make any more of these discussions that don't need to be had.
Yeah,
all right.
totally agree.
Excellent. Well, Matty, have you got anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. Just yeah, same thing. Well done to the TPs. You guys are absolutely crushing it and making a really, really good season. So, yeah.
Yeah, that goes for the drivers too. Obviously we aren't going to be here without you guys in our 7th season, which we are really, really, really excited about. So thank you all for joining. We are out of here. So thank you.
Yeah.